Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another vidIQ live stream. I'm Dan, and today we are talking about some of the things I always talk about, except, as always, we bring them to you with different twists and turns. We're going to be taking your questions about getting 1,000 subscribers, or maybe you've just gotten to 1,000 subscribers, and that's okay too, because we're going to help you get past that mark as well. It doesn't stop at 1,000 subscribers. That's not how YouTube works, and it's just a major milestone that we always focus on. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in Mr. Rob.
Hey, folks. Welcome to vidIQ. I love the way you deliver that, Dan. And yes, I think what we're actually doing here is that, as you say, we talk about this topic all of the time. People get into 1,000 subscribers, but we usually do it in 10 to 15-minute videos. So what we decided to do today is do it in a 2-hour live stream so that we can grab more watch time from you. That's basically what it is. It's a watch time grab. We do apologize, but we're greedy and we want the analytics because we love statistics. But hopefully, if you've not watched us before, it will help you get to 1,000 subscribers, but not before I do this.
I forgot about him this week. If you hadn't held him up,
I almost did.
I would have forgotten, and you would have went live streaming gloveless today. So we have, it's interesting because Rob and I just talked about this. I think it was yesterday. We recorded the Tube Talk podcast, and we talked about some of the same things we'll probably talk about today, but with the added bonus that we get to actually answer some of your questions. So as always with these live streams, we're going to chat for a little while, and then we will open it up to Q&A. So as we are talking and you're thinking of questions you'd like to ask, we do appreciate it if you maybe have another screen open, a notepad, something to write down your questions with, and save them for the Q&A portion, because we want to answer as many as we can. We want to make sure everybody here can get some value out of those answers. So that is that. We also need to talk about a special we have running right now. I'm going to put the banner on the screen right.
Special, eh?
Yes. It is back to school season, and whether or not you're going to school, you can take advantage of the special. So if you go to vidiq.com/bonus, the discount will be automatically applied, and this is for new customers only. You get 30% off of 3 months of vidIQ Boost plans. That's pretty awesome. 3 months, you're set up with all of our tools, our entire suite of tools. I'm going to bring some of them on the screen right now. This is the YouTube Studio on the vidIQ channel, and some of my favorite tools. For me, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to go to my very most favorite tool, which is actually when you go to edit the description of your video, you can use this before you even publish your video and preview the thumbnail you've created in the search results. Not only the thumbnail, the title, and everything else. You can see what would your video look like if it happened to rank really high in search, among the top of the top, because you want it to be competitive. And again, you haven't published your video yet, and you can see your thumbnail in all its glory among other top ranking creators. And this helps you determine, is my thumbnail up to snuff? Does it compare to these other creators? Do I feel like it's popping off the screen more than theirs? Does it become more clickable? And will I win the click if my thumbnail is presented alongside any of these? You can also sort this out. You can see what it looks like even smaller in tablet mode or on mobile. And then what's even cooler is that you can go on the home screen and see your thumbnail among some of the trending videos, not only amongst your competitors, but YouTube at large. Just videos that would be recommended to people's general home feed. Does your nice bright green thumbnail stick out among some of the other videos from other creators that are going out right now? So this is one of my favorite tools. And if you've got 3 months of vidIQ Boost at your fingertips, not only that, you get, again, all of our tools. These are all ways to help you reach that first 1,000 subscribers. All right, that's the commercial's over. We can talk about...
let's just hang on a second.
Okay.
Because Dan, the offer is related to back to school. And as you say, not everybody is going back to college or school or university, but whenever somebody watches vidIQ, of course, we are educating you on your YouTube journey. So right now, school is in session. And so, Dan, if you can just share the screen again, one of the things that people don't often realize that we have here is if you scroll down on the left-hand side and find the vidIQ Academy and click there, And then hopefully, Dan, if you're using an account, so if you continue in, and then if you go to all courses at the top there, you will have full access to all of our big learning modules. We have 10 courses here, hundreds of lessons covering all sorts of things, from how to set up your YouTube studio by Sydney de Jongsen. We've also got the complete guide to keyword research, how to monetize your channel. And also, if you are starting your channel brand new, you're very new to YouTube, then you can take our 30-day challenge, which is going to cover so many aspects of the things to kick you off on your YouTube journey. And all of that is available through vidIQ Boost, along with that amazing offer. So you can consume all of this over the next 3 months with that very special offer. And in the time I've been saying that, oh yeah, I'm almost ready to go. I'm ready to rock. There we go.
So there you have it. Thank you for that, Rob. The vidIQ Academy, which is one of the many things you're going to be able to take advantage of. All right. So let's
just do one last plug as well? It is related, actually, to what we're talking about here. Now, we're talking about getting to 1,000 subscribers. Folks, we're now on the final journey, on the final leg to 1 million subscribers. So I want to play a little game throughout this live stream.
Oh, we just lost one.
Oh, no! Who unsubscribed? Maybe I shouldn't have shared the screen. But hopefully we want to play a game here, and I want you to try and guess by the end of this live stream. Yay, we gained some. I want you to tell me how many subscribers do you think we will have by the end of a live stream? So we're at 952,506 now. We've lost another one. Wow, this is quite tense, this actually. Blind, are people just trolling us now as they're watching the live stream? We're just going to, whoa, oh my God, what is happening here? All right, and so maybe you can tell us how many subscribers we lose during the live stream. And we'll keep it there.
The number's going to be?
Well, you want me to give you an answer? I mean, usually... All right, yeah. I mean, how can we put this as a small bit of a screen? Oh no, how do you make it small? Is there any way to do that?
We can't. Yeah, we need to be able to picture that and make us big.
Yeah. So make this really tiny. Maybe there's a way to do this. Hang on, let's see if I can fix this. Can I get it really tight now?
You can crop like that.
So I'm just adjusting the size of the window.
I didn't know you could do that.
Well, it doesn't. It clearly doesn't work.
Well,
whatever I'm trying
zoom
to
out
do.
now. In your browser.
I can't do that. Oh, hang on.
But
it still means that we're really small on screen, so it's not. It's not.
Can we do? No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, that's the best you can do. Well, it's a roller coaster though right now. Blimey, we've lost 10 subscribers. We gained 10 subscribers. It's all over the place. Maybe we should just do this for 2 hours and talk about this counter. But that would be incredibly self-indulgent. So yeah, what do you think? Where do you think we're going to be? I don't know if anybody's actually put any answers in the chat. Have we got any answers yet? Let's see. Is anybody giving us any numbers here? Somebody says, somebody reckons we're going to get about 10,000 subscribers. We ain't going to do that. I can tell you that, unless people start raiding us on other live streams to tell them to subscribe to vidIQ. What do you reckon, Dan? If we were going to get an estimate from you, do you have any idea how many subscribers we get?
In 2 hours' time, I really should have looked to see how many subscribers we generally get in a day.
Yeah,
I would say we're going to have 952,750. I'm going to predict we get.
So you reckon around about 250 subscribers? All right.
Yeah.
I'll go for 952,580.
Okay.
That's what I'm going for. But we shall see. We shall see. But I think we should hide it for now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
So.
All right. Let's hide that for now. All right.
Yeah. Now resubscribe, trolls.
Please, yes.
So let's start here. Rob, why, before we ask everybody else, and I do want you guys to answer this in the chat too. Maybe we'll pull up some of your answers. But Rob, generally speaking, when you started YouTube, why did you want 1,000 subscribers?
Well, when I started YouTube, there was no requirements for 1,000 subscribers, so I wasn't necessarily too interested in it. But I think that's an interesting answer in itself, in that this goal for 1,000 subscribers now is almost solely driven by the fact that it's a monetization requirement. I mean, back when I was first creating, I think the requirement was like 10,000 views, and then you might get an invite. So I was kind of more interested in the view count. So to answer the question, Dan, I think I was more interested in subscribers as a stamp of approval, as affirmation that people actually enjoy my content and press that red button. It was the next step up from a like button. But my opinion of subscribers, as you and everybody else so well knows, has changed quite significantly over the last decade. But what about you? To throw the question back at you.
I thought that getting 1,000 subscribers, because at the time I think I was like you. I don't think it was like a partnership goal or anything. It just seemed cool. Like if you get to 1,000 subscribers, it kind of opens your mind to the idea that you could get to 10,000 subscribers. If you could do that thing 10 more times, you get to 10,000. If you could do that 10 more times or 9 more times, you can get to 100,000 subscribers. And that for me has always been like something I've wanted to do on like a solo channel. Get to that milestone. So I think it's just about taking things and giving yourself some motivation. And that, I want to say it motivated me, but it also sometimes had this problem where it deflated me. If I didn't feel like I was getting there fast enough, it actually impacted my mental health negatively, causing me to make like worse videos or not create at all. And, I've been doing this a long time through various different channels and trying different things. And so it was just this roller coaster of emotions while learning about YouTube and building up to that first 1,000 subscriber milestone.
I also blindly assumed that subscribers function almost like a multiplier effect. When you play certain video games, certainly arcade games, and if you finish a level or you achieve something, you get a multiplier effect on your score. And I just assumed that subscribers would be like that. Whereas if 500 people subscribe, then at least 500 people are going to watch your next video because they're subscribed.
Yep.
That was when I didn't really realize how fickle all of you are. When people subscribe and then they don't watch follow-up content. But that's really quite understandable because it's not a binary 1 or 0 type of thing. We're talking about human emotions and what somebody decides to watch, given what's presented to them through home pages, browse pages, and whatever else.
Yeah. So we passed that question on to you. Before we get into the Q&A, again, this is a Q&A live stream. We are going to answer some of your pressing questions. We're going to spend most of the live stream doing that, but we want to ask you guys first. Tell us in a sentence, why do you want 1,000 subscribers? If you're already there, why do you want your next milestone, whether it's 5,000 or 10,000? Tell us, why do you want to hit that next big milestone? Like what do you feel like that would accomplish for you, whether it's partnership or for your mental health or whatever it is? Very curious. A lot of people are just putting in the amount of subscribers they have, which is awesome to see too, but different question.
That kind of sums it up, isn't it? I want to be monetized, and so that's why I must get to 1,000 subscribers. And I completely understand the mindset. It becomes a very challenging mindset when you have 17 subscribers after 2 weeks or whatever, and you feel as if you're miles away from that goal. And here's another one. Yeah, it's a requirement now to unlock more tools. Community tab. And we praise a community tab ad nauseum just as to how powerful it is. So again, YouTube creating these unlocks, these achievements for reaching 1,000 subscribers. So this is someone as desperate to get a community tab as the other person wants to monetize.
Yeah, I haven't seen, it's interesting how many people are saying community tab. I've not seen monetization come up. This one, I want to monetize my content. I want to make live streams, which you can actually do prior to having 1,000 subscribers. Now, would we recommend it is another story, but you physically have the tool. You can do live streams without 1,000 subscribers. You could start a live streaming channel today, brand new.
That would very much depend more on how loyal your audience is, return viewers. For example, you could have 1,000 subscribers, but you may get 30 return viewers per video, whereas you could have 1,000 subscribers and have 600 return viewers. And then it becomes a lot more of an attractive concept to start doing live streams, because I think generally speaking, people are more likely to watch live streams when they are already aware of your content, as opposed to them randomly seeing a live stream from a creator on YouTube. Just my personal opinion, of course.
So one of the things I wanted to point out to everyone is this thing Rob's been talking about, returning viewers. The reason we have been using the phrase returning viewers is because of this fancy new metric we've gotten from YouTube that literally shows us how many people return to our YouTube channel to watch videos in a given time period. So even though we're getting close to 1 million subscribers, we only have a quarter of them returning.
All right, you'd have to kick me when I'm down, Dan. Blimey.
The other thing we don't know is how many of these returning viewers actually have subscribed to the YouTube channel. That could be a very small percentage of this number here could actually be subscribed. So this could be potentially future subscribers. But where is that? Yeah, here we go. When you have 70% of your audience not subscribed to your channel, this helps you dive a lot deeper and figure out what the heck's going on. So maybe you don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, but if you haven't looked at this, I would encourage you to do so, because you might find that you already have 1,000 people returning to you every month, and that's something to celebrate, honestly.
Now, here's the thing that really freaks me out about this analytic. Now that we can look at a video level, Dan, can you go to content? And so what I would like you to do is find a video that did fairly well in the last few weeks. If you scroll down a bit. Let's pick the one there, that one that has 58,000 views. And if you go to analytics and go to audience, then just do first 24 hours as a time frame. Now, this was an analytic I could not believe when I first looked at it. So yeah, just mouse over it. That to me is incredible, that we have so few new viewers discovering our content. And I think I now realize the struggle of people under 1,000 subscribers. Like, when we can only attract 750 people, new visitors to our content on its first day of publication, imagine how difficult this is for creators who have no well-established audience yet. Plus, they're trying to get YouTube's recommendation system to push viewers to their content. It must be an incredible struggle. I fear if I started a YouTube channel today, I worry that I would just be caught in the mass and be unable to break out. I mean, Dan, you did this recently with your own little adventure this year, and you've managed to do it. And I'm really impressed with the success you've had there. On top of this, can you just go to the overview section? Because what this will do now as well, hopefully with the traffic sources, if you scroll down, fingers crossed it's there. Keep going. It's not got a traffic sources there. Sometimes it shows you the traffic sources, and it shows you how few viewers come to our content through subscription tools, whether it be notifications or the subscription feed. Shall we just try another one just to see if we can see it?
Well, could we, in the first 24 hours, would this help us figure that out, or?
No, not really. Not really.
I can kind of see what you mean. It's not the same. But, all right, you want to try with another video?
Just try one more video, yeah. And then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I don't know why YouTube doesn't show this analytics on every tool.
This one's more recent. Maybe it'll be there.
Do that one. And then again, you got to sort by first 24 hours and then scroll down. Right, okay, beautiful. So let's just scroll back up again. How many views did it get in the first 24 hours? 18,000, 19,000, and then scroll down. And then if you look at, so subscription feed, 1,900. So 10% of people actually clicked on this video through subscriptions alone. And you may add notifications. I think people get notifications for videos, even if they're not subscribed sometimes, if you're watching something on a regular basis. But what are you left with there? You're left with 60 to 70% of people, irrespective of whether they've subscribed or not, they're watching our content based off of YouTube recommendations, beating a browse feed, beating suggestions. My videos having to compete with all sorts of other stuff that the viewer is being bombarded with. And so again, that's a really startling realization of just how important that thumbnail and that title has to be for your audience.
Yeah. This is...
Oh, look at that as well.
Everything.
Look at that. I'm getting 40% from suggested views. I rarely do that. I'm pretty proud of that. Oh, maybe I just need to put big numbers on our thumbnails in future. Yeah.
That's $10,000 a month
there.
is a lot of money. So that might have done it right there. That's a good pitch. That's a good pitch for a video. So
See, I tried that though on the most recent video, and it didn't do as well about the YouTube Shorts monetization payouts.
well, a lot of people don't make shorts, even though it's very popular. A lot of people make them. A lot of people don't. So it's kind of that niching down. Let's get my notes up so I can figure out what the heck I was going to say next, because sharing the
I just
screen.
want to ask a quick question while Dan's
Yeah.
doing that. Because I'm seeing Dan, you look very blurry and blocky and a little laggy. I'm just checking, is it just me who's seeing that on my screen, or do others confirm?
Interesting.
That,
I've got a thing that says connection unstable.
Right, okay.
So I apologize.
You sound fine, by the way. You sound perfectly fine, but your visuals are... You look like you're in 360p for some strange reason.
Apologies, everyone. Yeah, it seems that others are seeing it, some are not. So hopefully that improves. I'll stop sharing my screen, and that will help a little bit. So I still didn't find my notes because that was a very intriguing.
Well, Dan's
thing.
looking for his notes. Dun 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 dun. We're now gained around about 7 to 8 subscribers. So we're short. We're short of many predictions here, but we'll return to that soon.
I'm very sure of my prediction. Let's discuss something that I think a lot of you don't realize you're doing right now. One of the things we talk about a lot when you're trying to get your channel.
Oh, have we lost Dan completely now? Dan is silent for me, but what about? Can you guys still hear me, chaps? I think Dan is completely gone. Oh, this is scary. I'm here all by myself, and Dan didn't share his notes with me.
I'm back. I'm back.
Oh, he's back. Oh.
Maybe I should.
Almost had a nervous breakdown then.
Maybe I should drop out and come back, and that might fix it. But if it happens again, that's what I'm going to do. Don't panic.
Sure.
We'll get into Q&A in a minute, and that'll help you. That'll help you if you end up alone. I was going to say that a lot of you probably don't realize you're doing this right now. But one of the things we tell people when they're starting on their YouTube journeys is that they're going to need to invest in themselves. And a lot of people, I think, get a little bit nervous about that. They're like, what is that? That sounds like money. I thought I could start on YouTube for free with just my phone. So why are you telling me to spend money? And money is part of it. Getting a nice audio setup, maybe some lights, things like that. That's all awesome. One of the other ways you can invest in yourself is literally by being at this live stream. Like, you're investing in yourself right now because you're here trying to learn how to grow your channels. You're here trying to get better at doing YouTube. And that is the number one way that you can invest in yourself without actually opening your wallet. Of course, when you're already to open your wallet, we do have that special running, scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That's another way you can invest in yourself, different tools and things to help you grow. But educating yourself, not just on how to, play to YouTube's favor and make sure your videos get recommended, but also how to make better thumbnails and edit your videos better. You can do these over time. Make these little investments in yourself.
I have a little fable or a story to share with you about this. When it was actually Alexi, one of our vidIQ colleagues, who shared this with me. And it was a story about, I think it was a clay modeling class. And the teacher decided to do a little experiment where we would say, I'm going to split the class in half, and I'm going to judge and mark this half of a class on the quality of their clay modeling. It's only going to be judged on how good the stuff you make is. And then the other half, I'm going to mark you purely on the volume, the outputs of pots and clay modeling that you do. And what he discovered was that even though the one half was being marked on quality and the other half was being marked on quantity, the quantity half of the class produced far better quality models of clay than the quality half of a class, because that side of a class spent too long theorizing and imagining their perfect clay model piece and never actually doing anything about it until the last minute, until the end of a class. Whereas the other side was perfecting through volume. They were practicing different styles of modeling and so on and so forth. Now, that is an extreme kind of story and case, but I think it really goes back to the fact of what you were saying, Danny, is that you should be constantly investing in yourself. And I think you do that best by being practical, by learning things, but then most importantly, experiencing and experimenting with them yourself. Because Sean Cannell, Nick Nimmin, Alan Spicer, Ryan Walsh, channel makers, we can tell you everything you need to know about how to become a successful YouTube channel. But if you only listen to what we say and never actually do any of it, then you'll never make any progress. It's the same as learning to drive a car, learning to swim. You can read books, you can watch YouTube videos, but until you get behind the wheel, until you jump in that pool, the experience is very different from the education. Oh, I love that. The experience is very different from the education. Someone clip that, please, and share it on YouTube.
Do you want to get into Q&A and start taking some questions from some folks?
So do we not have any more pointers?
I wanted to get into some content mistakes, but I'm feeling like I really do need a minute to drop out and bash my router in with a hammer.
Let's spark off another point, I think. And if you want to go first on this, Dan, and then I'll jump into some stuff about it, and that'll allow you to fix your internet issues. So I would say something that's often neglected by channels to begin with, which is perfectly understandable because they want to start creating content and want people to watch their content. What they miss or don't realize, something that we've already briefly touched on, is the importance of the message of your content, the marketing pitch on the YouTube platform. How do you advertise your content? Some people may say that Apple don't necessarily make the most up-to-date products, the best products in class in a certain way, but the way they're marketed to an audience means that they are the most successful company in the world. That's debatable in itself, but what does that mean then? And we're talking about the thumbnail and the title. So maybe your thoughts, Dan, and then you can jump off for a minute or two.
So yeah, the thumbnail and the title, that is the pitch. Every video needs a strong pitch to the audience because YouTube is literally going to do that. They're going to put it on the home screen. They're going to put it in front of somebody. And that's how they're going to get their initial data. Is this video clickable? One of the things I see people do that is wrong is I see a lot of people when they start making thumbnails, they kind of, they put something interesting in the thumbnail and then they kind of cover it with text. They just slap some text on it. And that is wasted real estate because it would be way more effective if your thumbnail, if it had any text at all that said something that kind of raised a question mark above your head, like, what? So you can get people's eyes to glance over at the title, and hopefully these two things play off of each other and make that connection. Like Rob's video earlier, I closed my other screen so it wouldn't lag my stream, but I did want to pull up your thumbnail. It says $10,000 a month. And that makes, if that's text on the thumbnail, but that doesn't mimic the title. The title of the video is what makes you go, oh, I see. And you need to click on it to learn how to get potentially, a YouTube channel that's making you $10,000 a month. And the pitch is just so important. I don't think I answered your question. I got on a tangent there.
I think you were touching on a point of fear of missing out. The thumbnail is so intriguing and enticing. And you've teased enough in that thumbnail and title that it convinces to click. But anyway, Dan, if you want to skip off for a minute or two, do so now, because I'll go into what I'm talking about with thumbnails. And I think there's two things that I'm trying to stress as much as possible in terms of thumbnails right now for people who haven't really considered them or spent any time on them so far on their YouTube adventure. However long you are spending on your thumbnails right now, whether it be 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, at least for the next couple of videos, I want you to spend twice as long on making that thumbnail, and by extension, the title. But in combination of that time spent, a common mistake that many creators make in terms of their thumbnails is making them far too complicated, because they design it on a 28-inch widescreen monitor, but they don't realize that nobody in the world is going to see it in all its glory and wonder. They're going to see it as a postage stamp versus many other thumbnails. So when it comes to how you're currently designing your thumbnails, again, if you've not spent any time or thought on thumbnails, I want you to make that thumbnail half as complicated. And what do I mean by that? Well, half the text or no text whatsoever. If you're using 5 or 6 colors, predominant colors in your thumbnail, then reduce it down to 2 or 3. If there are 8 or 9 elements in that thumbnail, be it text, a logo, the YouTuber face, an object, an arrow pointing to it, another element in one of the corners, and so on and so forth, really try and remove as much as possible so that you're down to 3 or 4 elements. Because generally speaking, and when you think about this yourself now, you'll say, oh yeah, that's a good point. The average viewer spends a second, if not less, actually viewing a thumbnail. So try and imagine what the viewer has got to try and decode from a thumbnail in that fraction of a moment. And if you capture their attention enough with that thumbnail, then they may glance at the title for more comprehension. So going back to the example that Dan showed with the with my video about YouTube Shorts monetization, it had the Shorts logo and then 10,000 a month, and that was essentially the thumbnail. So there's a monetary value, quite a sizable one. That's going to capture your attention, I hope, as you're scrolling through. And then the title says, YouTube monetization, how much do you get paid? All right, so this is all about this new video platform that is now actually paying out, and I can earn some money from this. Let's find out what this video is about. That was my intention. That was my thought process. And did it work? I think it got higher click-through rate than normal, higher views than normal. So in that example, it was a success. And of course, you don't always hit a home run every single time, but that's where we go back to that previous conversation about investing in yourself, experimenting with whatever works from that experiment, applying it to your day-to-day routine, building the foundations, and then continue to experiment as you go forward. Dan, you're back. You look like you're in high definition, 720p at least. And you've now got the emoji to fit. Nicely done.
Yeah, I was trying to find just the right emoji for how I'm feeling right now.
I think we should talk about one more thing, Dan, before we go into Q&A, because you've really been doing a lot of research on this. And it's once you have the pitch set and you've won that click, the next most important thing is not the entirety of a video, it's that hook. It's the first 10, 20 seconds. And you watched 700 videos to find that out. So yeah, what did you generally discover?
Well, I did ask our gaming channels out there to send me their videos. I watched quite a few videos, or at least skimmed over quite a few videos. And a recurring theme, and this is not exclusive to the gaming community, but it is one that the gaming community tends to get into quite a bit. And I'll explain why I think that is in a sec. But the one recurring theme was mega long intros. The intro of the video being so unnecessarily long, completely absent of any kind of actual hook to get a new viewer to stay with it, to like click on that video and go, hey, I'm in the right place, and continue to watch. And this was something, the reason I focused in on it so much in the video that I posted about it, and how we still have conversations about it right now, the reason I'm so focused on it is because I made this mistake, and I wish I could go back and tell my past self to stop it, you know? And the one thing that I think would have benefited me to hear somebody say back when I first started YouTube was this: when you make a YouTube video, you need to be making it for somebody who's never heard of you before. That means if you're going to do an intro that talks and addresses your current audience, the audience that you've managed to get, and like, you know, your small kind of group that you always kind of chat with, if you address them in the beginning of the video, you've basically excluded everybody else that's come to that video, and you've only invited the people who already know who you are to engage with you by commenting, by liking, by watching the video, everything. So this was something I saw over and over again, where people basically would start and go, "Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Bob, and in the last video, I'm here for the video I clicked on, you know." And so people, for some reason, they have all these little habits, and it all boils down to this mega long intro with no actual hook. But people love to say the words "in our last video," as if you're being encouraged to go watch it, which is something you should save to the end. But wait for the outro. By the way, if you like this video, I made a video yesterday just like it. So
yeah,
that's the moment you want to do that. I could go down a wormhole with this, but the basic thing I want to let everybody know is stop with the long intros and stop with the splash screens with your logos and your branding on them. Don't go to Fiverr and get somebody to make you one of these flashy lights and your name dancing around.
Dan is destroying the Fiverr economy right here, right now. Blimey.
I'm sorry, but it's overused. People have been doing it for years. I was so surprised to see so many people still using these like intro screens. And the problem with them is they're never short. You know, you could probably get away with it for 2 seconds. I don't think people mostly these days have the patience for that. When you think about the success of shorts and how quickly people scroll past those, no one cares about your name flashing around on the screen with dance music behind it. Stop doing any of that stuff. Like, watch, if you want to educate yourself on the right way to do this, watch Mr. Beast. Whether you're watching his normal channel or his gaming channel, his intros are perfect. They draw you in, they tell you exactly what you're going to see in the video, and they waste 0 seconds of your time.
I can hear pitchforks being sharpened as we speak. I just want to take the data route for this. This is a brilliant example of what we mean by how crucial the intro is. I'm having to use vidIQ and Espanol because for some weird reason on this analytic, which is engagement, key moments for audience, it shows you, it includes live streams. And when it includes live streams, they're all 90% or above. YouTube, please exclude live streams from key moments of audience retention because it's useless and rubbish. So here we have a reflection of the first 30 seconds, that crucial moment when you're ensuring that the hook of the video aligns with the pitch and the marketing of a thumbnail and a title. And as you can see, this top result here, 76%, so more than 3/4 of people are still watching this video after 70 seconds, which is brilliant. And look at how, I'm not going to say flat, but you know, even a minute and a half is still more than half of people watching, and it retains its audience retention pretty well. But look at how much this changes when you lose audience retention in the first 30 seconds. It turns into a hockey stick, and we're down at 60% after 30 seconds. And then, you know, as we're halfway into the video, we're down to less than a third of the audience still watching, because you're never going to get those viewers back once they've abandoned the content very early on. And this is why I'm still on this little personal crusade this year to try and get my audience retention on vidIQ videos to at least 70% or above. And weirdly enough, in our foreign language channels, I'm almost at that, but on the UK side of, the English speaking channel, I can go back to that now actually. Let's quickly bring it up. If we look at the same analytic for the main vidIQ channel, and again, just ignore all of the top results because nobody cares about audience retention for live streams. I'm still struggling to get it above 60%, 70%, but I'm still working as hard as I can. That's my 1% that I'm trying to improve with every video that I make, and that's why sometimes we have that epic drum beat music to try and add a bit of pace and inject some tension into those videos. And who knows, after 6 months, I may decide, you know what, this isn't working. I'm spending too much time on that style. Let's try something different. And it might be, I just literally talk to camera and say, hey guys. No, sorry, I wouldn't say that. Sorry. That's the cardinal sin of YouTube, isn't it? Saying, hey guys. I would say, now then, if you want to learn how to get 1,000 subscribers in this video, watch, because we proved it in this video here, or in this screenshot here, and then just go into it. And that'll be like a 5-second intro. But, I'm still playing about and experimenting with all of that jazz.
Yeah, we can play semantics with the word intro a lot too, because you do need an intro, but you should be replacing the word intro, honestly, with the word hook. If you've made something that doesn't hook your viewer, you might have made an intro, but you didn't make an effective intro. You didn't make something that's going to introduce the content to somebody who's never heard of you before. And that should be the goal. If your goal is 1,000 subscribers, meaning you don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, you're never going to get there if you only cater to the 20 subscribers or 500 subscribers you've already amassed. You need to continue to cater to people who've never heard of you before. That's why when I see people making videos that have an episode number, as if to say, this is episode 20, you need to watch the other 19 videos to really understand 20. I try to discourage that as much as possible. This may be the 20th video, and you might want to put that in the description, but has no business in the title or the thumbnail, because it's only going to turn away people who are like, I don't really have time to invest in this sort of commitment. It'd be like making a tutorial video on how to fix a sink and putting a number on that because it's your 20th tutorial video. It almost looks like there's 20 steps to fixing your sink, and this happens to be 20. And you're like, well, that's a lot of steps to fix a sink. I need to find someone who did it in just one video.
I'm seeing this comment here. I think we audited this channel yesterday. Dylan Cross Finance saying he's get many videos with 70 to 80% watching at 30 seconds. So I would say that's a fantastic start. I think if you're having audience retention above 50% on the entire video, I think that's a very good start as well. And I would just say continue to send those positive signals to YouTube. You do have to also consider that these audience retention numbers shift from topic to topic. So whereas for me, 70% might be my target, in a finance topic, generally people may watch stuff for longer. So you've got a higher bar of competition because YouTube tries to stress that although your numbers may be good, the competition's numbers may be better, which is why sometimes if you're getting lots of views, and you're wondering why am I not being pushed more, it's because everybody else is getting lots of views and they're doing it even better than you. But I think when we were auditing your channel yesterday, it had a lot of positives and it was going in the right direction. And I would just say, keep sending these positive signals to YouTube. This is like you going, hey YouTube, hi, I'm over here. I keep waving my hands. You can't ignore me forever. And eventually YouTube will start to say, yeah, okay, we see this channel is knock it out of the park with every single video that we make. Let's continue to test this content with more and more new viewers.
Yeah. If you've got the hockey stick going on in your retention, that is the telltale sign that your hook needs a little bit of work. And if you're going to, this is the last thing I'm going to say about this, and then maybe we can open up to questions. A lot of creators make the mistake early on of getting into the habit of watching videos from very large creators and then trying to mimic everything they do. They try and structure their titles and their thumbnails the same, but it's not clear what they're doing because these larger creators have a lot more leniency. They can play any game or do anything on their one channel because people kind of already love them, right? So they have a lot more authority and they can do whatever they want. So people think, oh, I can have a gaming channel and play whatever I want, which that's not a great way to start. The one thing you should be doing when you study other channels, though, is study the actual content itself and try and ask yourself, what is it about this video right now that is giving me such a hard time? If I wanted to click away, I'm having difficulty doing that because I want to see what happens next. And that's why I brought up Mr. Beast earlier, because he's been one of the channels I've been studying when it comes to working on my own hook for not only vidIQ videos, but videos I make outside of vidIQ as well. I want to make sure that everything I do has that strong hook that pulls me in, while also simultaneously explaining to the viewer that you are in the right place and we're going to cover this thing today.
I want to add to that as well. Even though we are at 952,521 subscribers, so we've gained about 15 subscribers so far during this live stream, I still want to learn from other creators. And I'm going to keep pushing this chap a little bit. Ed from Film Booth, who has been a content creator for years and years and years, but all of a sudden, with a shift in strategy and content, his channel is blowing up to the point now where I think his channel is getting as many return viewers as vidIQ, even though subscriber size, they are a 20th of a size. And if you watch any of his content, it is phenomenal. The way he tells stories, the way they're so tightly edited. I want to learn from this chap. So I'm watching his content. I'm thinking, how can I implement some of those tactics and strategies into my own content? Because we should never feel as if we've made it on YouTube. Because the moment you think you've made it and you stand still, then the rest of the pack is going to very quickly take you over, consume you, and then be the leader in the space. So yeah, I'm in a fight. I'm in a fight for my life here. I'm fighting with Think Media. I'm fighting with Film Booth. I'm terrified. I'm worried. I'm worried we're not going to get to 1 million subscribers.
Well, with bringing up that page over and over, encouraging people to unsubscribe. Yeah, I think you're just digging your own grave there.
Yeah, pretty much. Dan, shall we summarize the points just before we get into Q&A, if we can remember them? So I think the first point we looked at is the big question of why do you want to get to 1,000 subscribers? And yes, it is for requirements, but at the same time, if you set that as your first target, it's going to become a bit of a struggle and an ask, because it can take months, sometimes years, to reach that requirement. So I think that's summarizing the first one. What was the next one?
It was have good internet, because you need to upload videos on the internet, and you have to use the internet to do it.
It was invested in yourself, Dan.
Yes, and watch this live stream, but do it on a day where the people hosting it have good internet, and that is how you can invest in yourself and your education and continue growing on YouTube without actually opening your wallet. But when you are ready to open your wallet, that's a special down here. We have a deal going on. You can save some money while you're investing in yourself, which is also nice. Look for deals.
The third point was consider how important the marketing, messaging, pitch of your content is before somebody clicks into it. And I summarize that by saying, however long you're spending on your thumbnails and your titles right now, spend twice as long. And however complex either your title or your thumbnail is, try and halve that complication. I haven't found an easy way to describe make it less complicated. I haven't found the right phrasing for that. But yeah, spend twice as long, but make it half as complex.
That is it. That was it. I think we have three main points.
The next one was intros, Dan.
Well,
And hooks.
Yeah, we did. Okay, that because that was your point. That was not on my notes. So yes, have a strong hook. Don't lose your viewers in the first 30 seconds, because when you do, those viewers don't return. YouTube takes it as a very strong signal that you did not like that video, and so it'll stop pestering you with it, and you will lose that person forever and ever and ever. And if that happens enough times, YouTube stops recommending your video. The pitch was all wrong. Obviously, something's happening with this video, because every time I put it in front of somebody, more times than not, they leave. And so maybe the next video they make will be better, but this one is just not it.
And if you wanted to add a fifth one, it would be plan, 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 or you end up with live streams that appear as if we're winging it at the very last minutes, which we clearly didn't do in this case.
All right.
Oh boy.
So,
but hey, we had 300 people start watching us, and we've still got 300 people watching us. So you must be finding this valuable. Thank you for all of the likes, by the way. We really do appreciate it. Yeah, it's very awesome of you. And we got a super chat as well. I just want to mention the super chat.
We got a couple.
I've seen one, Dan.
I see.
Oh, we got a couple now. Yeah.
From Fox River Bushcraft. Thank you so much. And then someone had much earlier given us a currency I did not recognize.
I think this is rupees, 19 rupees, I believe, from Technical Saurab. Apologies if I've pronounced your name incorrectly, but thank you for the super chats.
Yes, thank you so much. So I've pulled up our first question, but I should probably let everybody know the way this generally works. I'm going to change the banner for a little while. Is if you put hashtag question in all caps in front of your question, That helps us know when you're chatting with us directly and asking a question versus when you're maybe answering a question someone else had or just talking amongst yourselves. So be sure to use hashtag question in front of your question. That really does help us out. And now is the time to take all those questions you've been writing down and start to ask us some questions. Now, also, and I don't know if Rob, you've turned on slow mode or not, but
I certainly have, yes. So slow mode is enabled. This means that you can only comment every 60 seconds. It's not because we don't like you. It's to help us manage your comments so that we can see the questions and bring them on screen.
Please have patience with us. Please don't spam chat. Just because you can post every 60 seconds doesn't mean you should copy and paste every 60 seconds. We tend to stop chat for a while and maybe pick a few questions, and then we update chat. So you are allowed to post your question again and again, but just please don't just every chance you get. Be a little bit patient with us. But we're going to be going for the next hour at least answering your questions. So we got some time, and I pulled up the first one here. I've been stuck at 10,000 subscribers since 2018. How do I reach my 11K goal?
I'm just typing in a community poll, Dan, so if you can start with this one.
I wanted to look because I saw this question and thought, what an interesting 2 years, 3 years without getting to that next subscriber goal. And it maybe we don't do channel audits on these, but it does. Sometimes we do pull up the channels just to see. And it looks like this channel actually has just 400 subscribers or so left to get to that 11K goal. And it's kind of interesting that you say you kind of just stopped growing in a sense. Let me just try to pull up their most popular videos right now. It looks like, given that you have a handful of videos with over 100K views, I would go look at those videos and see if they are still getting views today. Maybe what happened was that at the time, those videos were blowing up for a long period of time, and they brought in the majority of your subscribers. And now that some time has passed and maybe they've kind of fallen out of popularity, you've come back down to a more realistic level of subscriber gain based on the content you're making today and the interests within that content. So I wouldn't focus, you're going to hear me say this a lot today, I think, but I would not focus on why am I not getting my subscriber goal, X many subscribers? Why is this taking so long? And focus on the things you'll be doing to innovate on your own channel. You know, could it be, I'm not saying, I've put away the channel now. I'm not saying this is what this channel should or shouldn't do, but anyone, could it be that your thumbnails need to be reworked a little bit? Could it be that the topic that you're in has itself gotten a little less popular? This is something a lot of gaming channels have to worry about. Sometimes the game they choose to play for a long time falls out of popularity itself, and you need to be able to ride the wave and say, well, what's the thing that this audience likes now? You know, maybe it's a new game or a new subject, and maybe it's something you can kind of pivot to. So experiment. That's to boil down everything I just said. If you want your next 400 subscribers there, just Jackie, I would start experimenting with different strategies on your channel. Again, be it thumbnails, be it intros, be it whatever. But find a new way to pitch your videos. Try and get that click-through rate up. Try and reach try to reach this new audience in a new way.
Yeah, YouTube, I think, describes this generally, broadly speaking, as seasonality. And I'm not just talking about seasonality in terms of spring, winter, summer, etc. It's the seasonality of viewers' interests. And I think, as you say, Dan, it could be that the topic that they're covering now, seasonality-wise, just isn't as popular as it used to be, or maybe it is as popular, but the demand is so much more competitive. And I think just through the very nature of his question, they're probably fixated on the wrong goal here, which is 11,000 subscribers. I think you need to go to that return viewers metric and see just how many people are returning to your content on a regular basis. And, you know, given the fact that you're getting between 100 and 500 views per video right now, you know, the return viewer count is probably somewhere in the low hundreds, perhaps. And you want to be looking from video to video, how many of those return viewers are coming back to your content? How often are you triggering? You know, how much are you satisfying? How much are you meeting the expectations of the people who've already seen your content to increase the loyalty there? And then, as Dan says, in terms of reaching new viewers, maybe you need to do some new experimentation with the thumbnails and whatnot, because it looks as if you've plateaued. there's a bit of the channel's stale in the sense that it's either not reaching a new audience or you're only attracting a small number of viewers back for the content time and time again?
So there's so many good questions we could pick here. I'm going to start. I scrolled up a little bit in the history here. I'm going to pick this one. Just join the stream. Welcome to the stream. How long statistically does it take for gaming channels to reach 1K? This is something no one could really answer this, but here's what I will tell you. I'll share a personal story. On my first channel, it took me 6 years to reach 10,000 subscribers. When I took another stab, being a little more educated as a YouTuber, it took me 6 months to reach 10,000 subscribers. So,
10,000 or 1,000?
10,000. I didn't keep track with the 1,000, but the point I wanted to make was that it's not like it's somewhere in between 6 months and 6 years. It depends on so many factors. It depends on the topic you're covering. Going back to gaming as an example, if you were to play an older game that still had some popularity behind it, but it was just older, maybe the ceiling of that is a much lower ceiling in terms of the audience out there that's interested in the first place. So therefore you will grow slower because there's not as many people searching for it. Whereas if you were to jump onto a new topic and you were like one of the best, you could end up getting your first 1,000 subscribers potentially overnight if you have a short that blows up. Like, you just never know. So Rob, you might have a little more of an analytical mindset here, but I would say there's too many factors for us to say, don't worry, it's just 3 months.
When we did a canvas of the community, we asked the question, how long on average does it take to get to 100 subscribers? And in some very weird maths, I worked it out at around about 61 days. When it came to 1,000 subscribers, because the answers were so broad, it was impossible to give an accurate number. But I came up with something along the lines of 18 months. But that also included channels that have taken 5 or 6 years to hit 1,000 subscribers. I mean, if you were to ask that question, it would always require a caveat of an answer. For example, statistically, how long does it take a gaming channel to reach 1,000 subscribers? If I was to answer with, well, if you make Let's Play content, it could take you 13 years because there are so many Let's Play channels out there, and Let's Play channels tend to find themselves stuck in a rut and never really progress. However, if you're making something that's brand new and has never been experienced by a viewing audience and is something that's just, wow, unbelievable, you've done it better than anyone else, it could take you 10 days. And if you put this into a real world question, you can always answer a question of like, how long does it take to graduate from university? Well, if it's a 3-year course, it takes 3 years. But how well you did in that course is the grade that you receive. In terms of YouTube, it could take an infinite amount of time. And it's how well you execute on all of the things you've learned and all of the skills you gain as to how quickly it's going to take to reach this target or this target. So again, this is where I think the question is in the wrong mindset. It shouldn't be how long does it take to get 1,000 subscribers. It should be how long is it going to take you to start making thumbnails that increase your click-through rate by 2 or 3%. And and you could maybe do that in a month or two. How long is it going to take for me to try and increase watch time or audience retention by 10 or 15% by trying this and this and this? Well, maybe I can do that in a month. And then you're looking at those small 1% incremental increases in your goals. Because I don't know where the channel is on its journey. If they're like at 45 subscribers, then that is a really tough question to ask and answer, because you just haven't got the data and the experience and the videos within your catalog yet to really start to think about. Usually, sorry, I'm starting to go off on a rant here. Usually, right. People only ask that type of question if they're so far away from that target that they're worried that they're never going to make it. Whereas people who are well on the way to their journey, let's say they've got like 778 subscribers, they're no longer thinking about if and specifically if they're going to hit that target. they kind of instinctively know when they're going to hit that target because they've already got some experience behind it. They think, oh, I'm probably going to hit this in about 6 weeks, which is brilliant. But I'm not thinking about that. I'm working on the content for my next video because I want to get that out and that out. Sorry, I added a little addendum rant there at the end.
Should I create a kind of thumbnail template for more brand recognition? This is something we see people do quite a bit, and I think depending on the niche you're in, you would stick more closely to a template than maybe others. What I would suggest at the very least is if you use Photoshop, for example, to create a Photoshop project that has a lot of stuff built into it, the font you typically use, the backgrounds you might use if you tend to use like just a generic background that you cut yourself out or whatever. Maybe other little objects you like to put in thumbnails, whether it's like emojis or your Minecraft character or whatever, and keep that as a template. And every time you make a new thumbnail, copy that template, and then you have everything you need. But what you don't want, generally speaking, is like thumbnail wallpaper. If you use the same template, like a lot of people will go to like Canva and they find a template they like and they just use that over and over, but they end up with a thumbnail that basically looks the same and they just change maybe one little element of it and whatever the text on it says. And that's what I would encourage people to avoid. And don't box yourself in with that template. Make sure that you're willing to experiment with whatever template you make and add things to your Photoshop template from time to time and do different things to try and, again, improve your click-through rate.
I'm just loading up Photoshop in the background here to try and show you the template that I tend to use. I think it's definitely better to have a template than not have a template, because what's just as bad as thumbnail wallpaper is every single thumbnail looking completely different. So it looks as if it's from a completely different channel every single time. God, it's going so slow. Come on.
Welcome to Photoshop.
So let's share my screen if I can. Share screen. So I'll just share screen one. So I generally use this as my template. And, we were talking about elements before, like trying to keep it as simple as possible. Generally on vidIQ, there's about 3 or 4 elements, that being me, doing something, a YouTube pose, but I've got like hundreds of these poses. And I need to take some more images, actually, because I think I'm starting to use the same ones over and over again. This big, blocky, somewhat cartoony font. I think you found this one, Dan, which is bold and big, and it's very readable. And then this background that we have here. But, I use this as a template, but we're always changing stuff. We're always changing the text. I often bring in a separate image element. Maybe it's a graph, or maybe you've often seen it where we're talking about views going up or down. And I often change the background of these YouTube logos to add a bit of color variety sometimes. But again, I don't think I'm perfect at this. I'm still learning Photoshop. I feel as if I'm very much a novice. But I generally start with this template. And we used to have a template before, which looks like... Am I going to be able to show this? I don't know if I've got this on. I may have deleted it now. Let's see if I can find my previous template, which was, it was this one. So it just had a different background. It had these speed zoom line effects, but I might delete this, and then I might bring this over here. I might make this bigger, and then I might change the text and so on and so forth. I think it helps to have a starting point.
Yeah.
But I'm now talking about my personal way of working, and Dan give you some slightly different advice about not having thumbnail wallpaper in terms of a template.
Yeah, it is important to find somewhere in the middle, but yeah, having that. I was telling a friend of mine who's kind of starting a new channel, like, hey, why don't you go and like take some pictures of yourself and have them on hand, like all different poses, and that way you have a fraction of your thumbnail, a large fraction of your thumbnail done for you. And then if you come up with some backgrounds or whatever, that's like 2/3 of your thumbnail done. Now every other thumbnail that you make just needs that one extra element that's going to separate it, And so it's you in a different pose every thumbnail, maybe with some text for some impact, or a picture of something that's happening in the video, or something like that. So you can definitely template the process. I just caution anyone out there not to box yourself in. Like, this is how I make thumbnails now forever.
I'm just closing down Photoshop. Just bear
No
with.
problem. I'm looking for our next question. I'm going to update chat here. Let's see. Let's see here. Questions
Another
are
super chat from AG World YT. Thank you for the super chat there as well. Another 19
very much.
rupees. Appreciate
questions that are too vague and too general, we would just refer you to the vidIQ channel at large. If you're just asking, how do I grow? How do I get more subscribers? It's not a lot of nuance there, so just be sure to check out our channel or rephrase your question to be a little more specific. All right.
I saw this one, and let's see if we can get it again.
I found one that would be an interesting discussion, but yeah, let's do this one.
Jitalol says, I had a video stuck at 100 reviews for a couple of months before it jumped to 1,500 reviews in a third month. How to tell if a video is bad or if it just needs time for YouTube to recommend it? So I think the first part of this is it's a good reason why you should never necessarily delete a video from YouTube, because it can start to take off at any point. Usually this tends to happen to content that has potential search intent, so that, you know, it just takes YouTube a bit of time to find the right audience or to test it with the right search results. And so, yeah, sometimes you can't necessarily tell if it's bad. I think you have to think about when you're first making the video, try and put yourself in the mind of a viewer and say, what is the viewer intent for this video? Is it something that they're watching because they're going to be entertained by it, and it's something that's not necessarily educational in that sense? If that is the case, then it's more likely that it needs to perform well straight out of the gate. It needs that velocity to then be recommended through browse and suggested. But if your intent is to answer a question, is to provide knowledge, value through knowledge, then you may have to accept that it's not exactly a sexy title or video for your channel, but 12 months down the line, it could be delivering views then. Like, whenever I make a video about how to get a custom URL or how to create end screens, this educational stuff, I have to accept that in the first 24 hours, it's going to underperform. But fingers crossed, YouTube is at some point going to start pushing this in search. So you have to appreciate it from the viewer's intent. Dan, what do you reckon? You are muted, I think.
Sorry. I do think this would happen if you were to make a video that was catered to search. Like you said, it's hard to imagine how else that would just all of a sudden pop off when you consider recommended viewers, returning viewers, things like that. So, I mean, you could even do this with a strategy behind it. You can cover a product that isn't out yet, but you could try and get ahead of it, like the new iPhone, right? So what's the next iPhone? Like 14 now?
13, I think.
13. So you could start, if you were a tech channel, you could start talking about the iPhone 13 now, and that video might not perform, but when people do start searching for the iPhone 13, and you, let's say you did a good job with your thumbnail and your title and everything, your video could very well pop up because you're one of the first to make that video that says top 5 things the new iPhone has to do, or I won't buy it, you know? So there's a lot, you can even, this could be a strategy, but yes, sometimes it can happen where things just kind of take off. Look into the data, look at the comments you're getting. Maybe now is a good time to double down on that topic. But yeah, that's, if a video doesn't perform right away, yeah, it may not necessarily mean it's bad. This is why it's good not to focus too much on a video that flops and just continue trying to move on and improve. Learn from the data you do have and just continue making these incremental improvements. And hey, one day that older video from a couple months ago might just pop off.
Got a good example here. I did a video about the difference between copyright claims and copyright strikes, and this is the performance in the first hour. The first 24 hours. And you can see from the prediction there, it's at the very bottom end of where vidIQ videos were at the time. So like 5,500 views. I mean, today, these days, you'd be expecting probably 10,000 views, hopefully, for the first 24 hours. But if we now set it to since published, look at how that's ramped up, all thanks to search now. It's probably in the first page of search results for copyright claims versus copyright strikes. but it took a lot of patience. You know, there is a long period there where you're thinking, man, did I waste my time making this video? I hope YouTube's going to do something with it. And it took a good, I'd say, 100 days before it really started to pay back. And now it's a really good performer for the channel. So, I mean, we're just sharing our knowledge and experience there, Jitalol. I don't know what the general type of content is on your channel. The one final thing I would say here as well is, if that video has got a boost, you need to make follow-up content on it as soon as possible. Even because if it was a 3-month-old video, you probably have more to share about it, whether there's been an update to this topic or whether you personally just have more knowledge and experience of that topic. You can probably definitely add more to the conversation. Dan, we were auditing a channel yesterday, which is a Minecraft channel, and they'd done tons of videos on Minecraft potions, and they made them like 10 or 11 months ago. And then all of a sudden in June, those videos took off. They've gone from hundreds of views to tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of views. Wow. So that channel right now should be capitalizing on either updates to potions in Minecraft or just, you know, as BlockFacts did, exposing everything there is to learn about potions and magic and character enhancements, things that you could maybe get in Minecraft.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot you can learn from a video that just suddenly takes off. So we have one here. This one's going to be pretty specific to this channel, but kind of something we see happen sometimes. I use ads for my gaming videos. I get 90% likes in my videos. So a lot of people are watching and liking, which is interesting. 10,000 or something each video, but less people subscribe. How can I improve this? So I saw the ads part and I'm like, oh, okay. But the likes part does confuse me. Rob looked very bewildered when I read that part out loud.
I got confused by, I don't know what it means by I get 90% likes. Oh, sorry, 90% like ratio. Okay.
Oh, okay, got it.
I was thinking like for 10,000 views, I got 90% of us as likes, so you're getting 9,000 likes. I just completely misinterpreted the question.
So your like ratio is good. Got it.
Yeah.
I was going to say to fix this problem where people are not subscribing to your videos, stop using ads. That's what I was going to say. I think that using YouTube ads to get a video in front of people is something, if you're trying to market a product or a service, sure, great way to market a product or a service. If you're just trying to have a gaming channel, you grow organically and you bring in this audience, they find you and they fall in love with you and your content, it's not going to happen through ads. Your view counts might be high and that feels good, but when you look at the retention, I have a feeling that the retention on all your videos looks like a massive hockey stick of people skipping the ad as soon as they get the chance to watch the video they actually clicked on. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Just the usual question of fundamentally, why are you using ads on your gaming content? Are you trying to sell something? Are you trying to change the mindset, the emotion, or the knowledge base of a viewer within a space of an advert, 30 to 60 seconds? And if the answer is no to that, then why are you using ads? I don't want to tell a person not to use ads until I know the answer, and so we're not necessarily going to get that. I did try and look at the channel in the background, but the comments, the channel of this comment, I don't think is actually the channel they're talking about, because the view counts don't reflect that, and neither do the likes to dislikes ratios. So maybe he's talking about another channel.
I do see one video on that same channel that would like that one video did the thing they were saying, but definitely not all the videos. Maybe they just tested ads on one video. But if assuming your goal is to use ads to grow your channel, it's kind of a waste of money. Like, it's not an efficient way to grow a channel. You're not going to bring in that organic audience. People find ads because they're in front of videos that are trying to watch. So
yeah, they're being forced to watch something before the thing they want to watch. And as you say, it's all about organic growth for a channel. If the person sees the ad and they watch 100% of a video, then yeah, maybe you've, I guess, bought yourself an organic viewer. But I think this goes back to when I was talking about how to promote your channel. The best promoter of your channel is YouTube's recommendation system. When you do a good enough job that YouTube knows exactly who should be watching the video you've made, then it will do all the free promotion that you could ever ask for.
Yep.
When you're I guess, artificially forcing viewers to watch your content, it perhaps suggests that you're not making good enough content to satisfy them anyway. And again, I'm not necessarily saying that you have a problem here. 99.9% of creators suffer from this problem of not making good enough content for people to watch. You know, the cream of a crop rises to the very top, and that's why people like Mr. Beast, Jake Fellman, etc., 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 this is why they get so many views on their content, because the viewers are so satisfied by that content that YouTube is going to keep recommending it to them.
Question Supreme. I'm not sure what a question supreme is, but I guess we're going to find out.
All right.
You've said not to have an intro if you're a small channel, if you're any channel, just to be clear, but it does, as always with anything, it depends. But what if you've hit on an intro that is both short and a hook in and of itself? So you're saying that your intro is also the hook.
Cool.
And if it's performing well for you, then yeah, that's fantastic. I'm referring to a specific type of intro that I've seen a lot, and it can vary, but it usually starts with somebody just kind of talking with a menu screen up for a game, you know, and they're not really worried about a hook. And the other thing I've seen a lot is 10 seconds of the person's channel name dancing on the screen with music in the background, which always looks visually cool, but it invites people to leave immediately, because if you're willing to waste that much time in the intro not getting to the point, how much more time are you about to waste after I watch the intro? I could have already had my answer to whatever it is I'm trying to search for.
I think there will always be exceptions to the rules that we're generally suggesting here.
Mm-hmm.
Some creators may find really inventive ways to incorporate an intro into their videos, and it might be that it's done in a custom way every time. The best/worst example I can think of this is the beginning of The Simpsons, right at the end of the intro, so to speak, when Homer's driving into, you know, when they all go into the house, whenever they get on the sofa, they do something different. And so that's an interesting way of having a signature intro, but with something different. But we're talking about the television industry here, and that's somewhat of a different thing. But I'm just thinking of how a common intro could be changed a little bit, but then you got to put work into changing that intro.
Absolutely. So yeah.
Sorry, Dan, you're picking all the questions here, which is brilliant. I keep forgetting to look for ones as you're answering.
If it's working for you, I'd hesitate to change it, but I also wouldn't be afraid to try new things. I did have another question loaded up, so now I'm also looking for a question.
What shall we pick? They're all of these questions are quite long, Dan. You know, so
yeah.
I have to read each one a little bit.
We have to, carefully read them.
Which is nothing wrong.
It's kind of an interesting one here. You might have seen it. I've been working on my thumbnails, and my returning viewers have been complimenting it a lot recently, but my CTR is actually decreasing. What should be my next move? I'm going to say it sounds like you have a very awesome, loyal community of viewers, and they genuinely do like the thumbnails you're making. But if it's lowering your click-through rate, it's lowering its potential to get in front of new viewers that could hopefully one day feel the same way about you. So,
well, possibly.
Well, okay. Possibly. What are you looking at?
So sometimes click-through rate decreasing is not necessarily a bad thing if you're looking at that figure in isolation. If your impressions are increasing, then it means that YouTube is testing your video, your thumbnails out with new audiences. And typically speaking, when it does that, because this new audience isn't necessarily aligned with your content or is less invested, they're less likely to click. But here's the stark choice. Do you want YouTube to recommend, do you want your thumbnail to be seen 1,000 times and have 50% click-through rate? Or do you want your thumbnails to be seen 1,000,000 times and have 5% click-through rate? Hopefully, if you do the maths, you're going to get more clicks from more promotion. So just check whether your impressions are increasing, first of all.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was taking this very much at face value. Basically, they're saying to me, the data's telling me these new thumbnails are not working, and people are clicking my thumbnails less, but my audience likes them. But yes, that is a very important distinction. And click-through rate changes as time goes on, so I guess we do need to be careful with that bit of advice. What would you say, though?
So let's say that the click-through rate is decreasing, but views and impressions are not increasing, even though your regular return views are complementing them. Well, then you have to, I think, follow the data. And the data is telling you that these thumbnails are not working as well. As a control test, go back to the thumbnails that you were making before to see if your click-through rate then does increase again. And also, plan C. Let's try some different thumbnails completely again. And also do some research into what other creators are doing in terms of thumbnails within your space and see if you can detect any triggers or key points of those thumbnails that make them clickable.
So there you go. All right, we got so many super long questions. I do appreciate the detail into these questions. It just takes us a while to read them as a result. All right. What do you got?
Jensen Jupiter. Hello again, fellow influencers. I am not an influencer, I can tell you that much. How do I take advantage of a video that did really well on my channel compared to the rest of my videos by keeping my viewers satisfied after one viral spike? Well, we have another creator who's enjoying / struggling with that question, who goes by the name of Jonk, our unofficial animator. He had a viral moment with some KSI animation reaction content, and he did some follow-up content specifically for that audience, which flooded into his content, and those videos perform well as well. But he's also maintaining his, I guess, regular content as well, which, although isn't performing anywhere near the viral stuff, it is still performing multiples of where he was previously. What I mean by that is, let's say he did a video last month and it got 500 views in its first 24 hours. Then his KSI stuff got 500,000 views more. Then he goes back to his original content and he's maybe getting 1,500 views, 2,000 views. Although he's not able to hold that viral audience, some of that audience has turned into regular viewers, so he's raised the benchmark of his content. So there's a very tricky trade-off here. I mean, where I'm always going to say, instinctively, make follow-up content on what really spiked if it's possible. What do you reckon, Dan?
Definitely that. I was just taking a look at the channel to try and see if there's anything else that was jumping out at me. I think I see the video that they're referring to.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have a viral moment, like that's the same thing we told Jonk, was that, hey, like, this is actually really good. Even if you never make another KSI video again, you have built up a loyal audience of thousands of people, whereas before you had hundreds. So every time you get a video out there that attracts a new audience, there's a chance that some of those folks stick around, So yes, you can double down on the content. Sometimes we say that, and I feel like our audience gets a little frustrated with us because they made something that they literally don't know how to double down on. They're like, this was like a one-time event, for example. There's only so many ways I could cover it, and I'm not sure how I want to double down. And plus, I don't want my channel to become about this. So there's a lot of factors here. Are we looking at? Yeah, that's the video.
Let's just do some fantasy booking. I don't know if this is a video that was your viral moment, but it's your top performing video. Mm-hmm. Dan, you're the Minecraft expert here. How would you capitalize on this? Because I'd be thinking, as a complete layman, I would be thinking to myself, all right, how do I find? Let's do a video on finding the next rarest thing in Minecraft.
Yeah,
it might be a rare violet ruby. Oh, I don't know if that exists in Minecraft.
You're dead on. This video, because their next video was also about the axolotls, or however you say that, and it's not performing as well. But the creature you were covering was not the viral moment. It was that you found something rare. It was you did something that is difficult to do, and you've created a video that potentially brings some value to the people trying to do the same thing. You've captivated an audience by doing something different. This kind of goes into what I've been trying to tell people when it comes to games like Minecraft or any game at all. Can you use it as a playground? Can you use the game as a tool rather than, today I'm going to play Minecraft, use it as a stage or staging area for something more interesting, So maybe you just use Minecraft and you use it to make videos where you only find rare stuff, or you share secrets or something like that. Because that video obviously provided some value. So you could argue the next thing you should do is, what other secrets can you share? And don't discount the fact that new people are finding Minecraft today, right now. There are people who are opening the game for the very first time and creating their very first Minecraft world, and they don't know what the heck they're getting into. So don't discount that at all. And maybe something that seems kind of trivial to you actually was, when you first learned about it, you think back, kind of mind-blowing. And can you continue finding rare things to show people?
Purely from a raw numbers point of view here is, all right, this got 200 views, brilliant. This one got 35 views. All right. Didn't really meet the expectations of our previous one, but in alignment with everything else on your channel, it is still the second best performing video on the channel in the last month. And so that represents a raising of the benchmark of your channel, what to expect video to video. And I would also say as well, just very quickly, you got some pretty cool thumbnails for a channel just starting out in the Minecraft universe.
This is clearly, we know that Jensen's here all the time, and going back to saying, hey, you guys need to invest in yourselves. This is a creator that's obviously following a lot of the advice we give. They're probably watching a lot of other creators and taking notes, because those thumbnails are awesome. I like the concepts of these videos. I think that the trouble is that you're just in a space full of innovators, just like you. You're finding different ways to innovate. Like, I love the idea. What does 100 bells sound like in Minecraft? That's freaking funny, Like, no one would think to take, this is what I mean about using the game as a tool, a staging area. You've taken 100 bells and you've put them down. You made a great thumbnail. What the heck is that going to even sound like? So keep thinking about these ideas, and who knows, maybe one day that video could just pop off. It gets in front of the right people, or maybe something else you do pops off, and then people go back to your catalog of videos, and everything starts to get more and more views. So you're doing it right. If you're going to be in a space this competitive, this is the type of content you want to make. And I just wanted to add that.
Spot D 321. What would be your recommendation on getting new viewers from a gaming guide that ranked well on YouTube search and got positive feedback to turn into returning viewers and active subscribers? So I guess we'll remove the word gaming out of this, because I guess you could apply this to any guide that is search driven. I think there are two ways to potentially look at this. You have a video that's ranked well on YouTube search. Definitely, I would be thinking about how you can multiply the angles of attack for that video and approach it in as many different ways as possible. From that video, you've hopefully got questions and comments that can help drive new video ideas for that guide. Just to give you an example, if you're thinking it's impossible to do this, I managed to build a bit of a YouTube empire on a single search term, which was how to record your iPhone screen. I made 100+ videos on something that sounds relatively simple and straightforward. If you want to go into immense detail and be the authority on a subject on YouTube, it is possible with many, many videos on the topic. Now, how do you turn them into return and active viewers is a challenge, especially for search-driven content. That's something that vidIQ has a challenge with, since I think 40% of our audience comes from search. And the answer is simply what you're looking at now. It's myself and Dan. How do we make this content not only educational, but entertaining enough so that people start to say, hey, yeah, I like how Rob talked about 1,000 subscribers. I like Dan. I like the way that how Dan introduced starting a gaming channel. It's pretty cool, actually. It's pretty funny. I'm hoping that if they do more YouTube education stuff, I'll choose them. And so you got to think about how you can inject as much uniqueness, personality, and entertainment into your video content once a viewer's in there, and that can be through the hook and so on and so forth.
I did pull up the channel because I was really curious, and what I'll say is that the strategy here would be similar to what Rob said: is make more guides, like be that library of a channel that helps people understand your subject. In this case, it's a Pokemon channel. And then what you're also doing are a lot of live streams, and this could be a good way to take people who have seen your content, seen your guides, found them helpful, and capture them while they're hanging out on YouTube and you happen to be live, you know, and now they get to see you kind of in your element playing the game, and, you know, they can ask you some questions and they can just get to enjoy the game with someone that they've kind of built this relationship with, you know, by watching your content. Looking at your channel, we're not doing channel audits, but I can't not say this. I would simplify your thumbnails. I think your thumbnails are far too busy. We're pulling them up.
This is what we mean by make your thumbnails half as complicated as what they currently are.
Yes. It's so hard to read the text. It looks like you're trying to put every Pokemon that's ever been made into one thumbnail. You literally could do that and it wouldn't look any different to me. Like, there's just so much texture and it's just hard to kind of focus on what's going on.
Yep. But we're not doing audits. We're not doing audits.
We're not doing audits. But
it's
worth mentioning. If you're going to do a guide on how to catch Pikachu, all you need in that thumbnail, if it were me, Pikachu and a Pokeball. I wouldn't even put text. So as an example, simplify your thumbnails. They could take even less time to make, but honestly, if it could take you more time to make a simplistic thumbnail, making sure the colors are just right, the shadows look good, but just a couple elements so people can kind of make that connection, like Pikachu, Pokeball. I need to learn how to catch Pikachu, and there it is. There's a guide for it. Perfect. Whew. We just had to do it. We had to audit a channel.
Okay.
Shouldn't have done that, Rob.
Oni me El Llama. There's an extra L in there. How do I grow my channel? Hang on, that wasn't the one I was supposed to pick. I do apologize. It was this one above. This is where I'd like to stack this question for later now, because I feel as if I want to come back to it. All right.
Do you have the other one? Maybe we can.
I've got the other one, so I'm going to leave my mouse there on it. So what was this question? How do I grow my channel? I try my best to make clickable thumbnails and got similar titles from famous Roblox YouTubers. All right, nothing necessarily wrong with that. Yep. I got 5,000 in one video, but I can't get close to that on my new videos. All right, so there is that outlier, and as I'm going to borrow Sean Cannell's book of phrases here, if I can get this right. Success leaves clues. Make a part 2. Dan, what does that mean?
Don't literally put part 2 in the title, though. I'll scream.
True. Yeah, I agree with that.
But yes, what that means is double down on what is working. So I'm just pulling up. We probably even shouldn't show the channel because we're gonna start auditing channels, and it's gonna totally turn around the live stream here. But I'm just pulling up just to see if I can. Oh, I don't know anything about this topic. But you do have a couple videos. Actually, you have a handful of videos over 2,000 views talking about a similar thing. So Here's what I will say. When you make a video that gets 5,000 views, and I'm not saying only Milama is saying this exact phrase, but a lot of people do feel this way. Hey, I got 5,000 views, and now every video from here on out should get at least that many. And you just want to avoid that mindset. You know, you have an outlier video, so learn from it and adapt and continue making videos from there. But yeah, don't be too frustrated if you get 2,000 views in the next video instead of 5,000. You know what I mean? I'm trying to see if there's, just by looking at the channel in the background, if there's any other thing I can pick up on real quick. And it is hard.
I'm picking up this.
Okay.
So whenever Goku, apologies if I've pronounced that wrong, whenever that appears in the title, on most occasions, your view counts spike. So I don't know if that's a character. It looks like a character in this anime. So here, 2,000 views, 6,000 views, and also another one here, 3,000 views. So whenever that's in the title, you know, that seems to be your keyword treasure chest right now, your golden opportunity. Me personally, I would be just saying, right, you know what? For the next month, I'm going to pivot onto that topic and just make 5 videos on the topic to just see what happens as an experiment. Because, you know, as we're looking at the channel, there seems to be a lot of stuff on the channel as well, which makes it difficult for a potential audience to know what to expect from video to video. Anyway, we're not doing audits.
I told you. It's a slippery slope, man.
Yeah, right. Let me try and find that other question now, because it's, of course, the chat has scrolled since then. You have 46,000 subscribers right now. Well done. Congratulations. Awesome stuff. Something I've been struggling with is click-through rate. If it goes below 10%, my videos seem to tank. I don't know if this is the reason some videos underperform. So going back to what YouTube generally says, if you have higher click-through rate and higher watch time, then it will promote your content more often. And if you like have a general benchmark of click-through rate, then yeah, it stands to reason that if your benchmark for a good performing video is 10%, if it's underneath that, then the video is going to underperform. So now you've got to start to ask the question, why is that video underperforming? It could be the thumbnail. Absolutely. It could be that thumbnail was designed incorrectly. I would guess what it typically is, because it's the same thing I find on the vidIQ channel. When the topic isn't as exciting or sexy, or just the pitch. You know, sometimes I make thumbnails and I think, you know, am I satisfied with that thumbnail? Am I satisfied with that title? I don't know if I am, but I've got thumbnail block. I've got creative block here. I'm just going to have to go with it. And usually when I have that instinct, it does tend to underperform, which is a reflection of myself and the fact that I should plan more a little bit. So this is where you could start using groups, actually. Group your content into different topics or different styles of thumbnails, and then really scrutinize the click-through rate on each of those groups. Again, we could look at the channel. We could do a mini audit, but I'll let Dan chime in first if you have anything else to add.
I was looking in the background to see if there's anything I could pick up on, and it's a fantastic channel. Not a whole lot I can say specifically for the channel except keep going. What I will say is that I've kind of categorized my own content, speaking of groups, into like 3 different categories, and I'll try and speak on these vaguely here. One of the categories would be kind of Let's Play-esque, right? Like it's mostly just me playing the game. One of them would be comedy. I'm trying to make people laugh, and so those were the ones that tend to do the best, the comedy videos. And then I guess the other ones would be like helpful guides, and those are kind of right in the middle. So you would say, why don't you do more comedy? And I can definitely just do that and only that. But if I still have a desire to do the more guides or Let's Play style content, you know, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I get, 50% less views when I upload these Let's Plays, but I sure do like making them. And the audience that does watch them seems to like them. So I am going to put them in my schedule. Don't care what anyone says. I like them, and it doesn't seem to impact the channel's growth as a whole. The other thing you could do is try and pitch the other videos as the comedy videos. So maybe you can add a comedy spin to an otherwise helpful tips and tricks video. You know what I mean? And this is something I've been testing on my own. I actually found a little bit of success, and I'm now kind of trying to rework the more Let's Play style content. Hey, if I just make my Let's Plays a little bit shorter and pitch them a little bit differently, they tend to get similar views to my best performing content. So I don't know if that's helpful to you, maybe, or to anybody, but there are different styles of content, and just based on the thumbnails and the titles, your audience can pick up on that, the flavor of the day, and decide before even clicking on your video whether or not, that's when they do the Let's Play stuff, I'm not really interested in that. So it may be all about how you're pitching the content, and then, you don't want to be disingenuous. You don't want to promise a comedy video and deliver a Let's Play, but maybe try and figure out what appeals to your biggest portion of your audience, and how can you reach them every single time you upload.
Again, we're not doing audits. This is first impressions.
Yes, we are.
Looking at the top layer of a channel, sorted by most popular. What I'm seeing is whenever you do farm videos, they seem to perform really well. Specifically, Dan, Creeper Farm, that seems to be a thing in Minecraft. Is that right? And You did a video a year ago, did awesome. You did a follow-up video 6 months later, did awesome. Now it's time to do another follow-up video on that topic if you haven't already done so. But again, I'm just looking at it from a very top-level viewpoint.
Blaze Farm, other dangerous mobs. Think about the things that overlap, things that are in common here. So creepers are a dangerous mob, and they have a valuable resource to farm, as do Blaze. So I'm sure you've probably tackled Blaze farms in the past, but that's a really helpful thing. Like, a gunpowder farm, great. These things are hard to kill on their own. I want to farm them. So, yeah, look at these thumbnails too. Everything is just this channel is just firing away on all cylinders.
And I think perhaps as well, just again looking at the channel, the general view counts, you're in a very good position already. You're almost seeking perfection at this point. Given the view counts, given the channel size, a lot of these videos get over 10,000 views, 20,000 views, sometimes 100,000 views, from 3 weeks ago. You're going in very much the right direction. So you want to just stop for a second and applaud yourself for the awesome job that you're already doing. And you're using the community tab as well. So there's very little to criticize there. I guess you're just trying to remove all of the chaff and the wasted videos, I guess, in your current quest.
Yep. I'd be very proud of even the videos you're considering flops. I would be very proud of the views you're getting. You're reaching a lot of people every time you upload. And that's something that a lot of people would kill for.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're in the top 0.1 percentile of Minecraft channels who've probably who are growing at that pace right now.
Yeah. Congrats on 100K subscribers. I'm sure it's coming soon.
Yep.
All right, let's see. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh.
Sorry. Do you still have yours?
Yeah, I've got mine highlighted.
Okay, let's just quickly, because this person just started a channel with their son. They're promoting outdoor activities and usually only post once a week with a short mixed in. They're asking how often should they post. My general advice is post as often as you can tolerate posting. I mean, you don't want to burn yourself out. There's no amount of videos on YouTube that's like, this is how many. We can't say you should be doing 5 videos a week. Like that's just, it's different for everybody. More is better. It's more shots at the target, but then there's also a point where you can post too many. Like for example, you can't have more than 3 notifications a day go out to your subscribers. So if you post more than 3 videos in a day, the rest of them don't have as much of a chance to get to your subscribers. So I would just avoid posting daily, but you don't have to worry if you're not posting enough, if that makes sense. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, just having a look at the channel in the background here. I think the cadence that you're starting with is fine. 1 video a week, 1 short a week. I think that's enough to stay in the orbit of somebody's watching habits. I think if you're making shorts, you could maybe squeeze that to 2 or 3 shorts a week. But again, we don't want to push you at this point. You're in the experimentation phase. And I think until you've made 25 to 50 videos, you don't really know the answer just yet as to the cadence. I mean, if you, let's say you were going to subscribe and watch your own channel, how often would you like to see content on the channel realistically? Because let's say you're say you're taking your son out. So you're a parent. You're probably very busy. Maybe you don't have time to watch YouTube videos every single night, but you dedicate maybe an hour at the weekend just to catch up. So one video a week from all of your favorite creators is just about right. And again, looking at the channel in the background, you've almost hit 50 subscribers. You've had views over 100. I think you're making some good progress already. So you should be celebrating where you currently are on your YouTube journey.
All right. What was the one you had?
Okay, yeah, that's long since gone. Let me see if I can find it. Don't.
What was it about?
I think it was. It was about they had one video that had blown up, but it's not really about that. It's not what they want to make on their channel. Should I pivot? I just cannot find the question.
Is it about a short?
I can't remember.
75% subscribers from short.
No, that wasn't it.
It's kind of similar.
Oh, StreamYards. Why do you curse me like this? Why do you curse me?
We have been asking for this feature, StreamYard. What's going on?
I mean, we haven't actually spoke to them directly, so they probably have no idea.
Well, we assume they watch.
Yeah, one of hundreds of people watching would relay this message. Send a raven, please, to StreamYards. Yeah, I've lost it now. I do apologize. Hopefully,
I've scrolled around now, so I don't even know where the other one was. All right, maybe it'll come back up.
It's really bugging me now. Found it. Here we go. Madness on Blitz. I'm a World of Tanks Blitz YouTuber. I had this video take off with 10,000 views. It's now ranked #1 in search. Brilliant, awesome. But it's not really based on what I currently do. Should I double down?
So yeah, I guess the question is how not
the
is
first
it?
Question. The first question is, why did you make it in the first place?
Yes, but maybe they're willing to double down.
What was the goal of making this video if you didn't want to make more content potentially surrounding it if it was a success?
Yes. So, but how similar is it to what they were already doing?
Yeah.
Was it a World of Tanks video and then you uploaded a laptop review?
Yeah, I'm checking that in the background now to see what the answer is.
Because the answer would be yes if you wanted to double down on that content. It's still up to you at the end of the day.
So it was how to add friends in World of Tanks. So still completely related to the topic.
Yeah.
But maybe this was like a very much an educational how-to video and then more epic moments, montages, let's plays, that type of thing. So it's maybe a different format is the one. But I guess as usual, Dan, it proves that valuable educational content from gaming channels will find you an audience.
Look at the areas that are underserved in your niche, in the World of Tanks niche. Obviously, making tutorial videos, like, you're helping a lot of people. So this could be an underserved market of World of Tanks you're tapping into, and it just so happens, as a fan of the game, you're the perfect person to deliver that content over and over and over again. So nothing is stopping you from making more videos like this, not how to add friends or whatever that particular one is. You've taught that one now, but what other lessons can you teach people about the game itself? Because that's what's working here, I think. And in between, you can do your streams or your Let's Plays or whatever, and ideally, as people learn about who you are through your tutorial videos, they'll be willing to come back and watch the other things you're doing. As I was saying earlier, you will likely get less views on those videos, but you'll probably be getting more than you used to get, which is also helpful.
Crypto Costa asks, how do I get better watch time? I feel I have perfect editing, but still watch time is around 2.5 minutes. Also, if I don't post for a couple of days, does YT promote my channel worse? So let's get to this first phrase here. I feel like I have perfect editing. I will tell you now, I feel like I have average storytelling skills and average editing skills, because I know there is still a lot more to learn and there is a lot more I can do better. So, and the data proves that. The data proves on vidIQ that our average view duration is about 40%. So clearly there is still work to be done. So I am taking responsibility for that. Now, I'm not for a second saying that you are not the perfect editor, but what does the data tell you? Is there objective proof that you are the perfect editor? And if you get 100% watch time, then it is true. But the answer here suggests, just from the data, but that's not true just yet. And so going back to Dan's original point, 5 minutes into this live stream, continue to invest in yourself. And even if you think you are the perfect editor, will become better than perfect, which is impossible.
You probably
110%.
You probably, objectively speaking, have great editing skill, but it might not be the editing that's the problem. It might be the delivery of the content itself. So what I mean is, if people are getting to your video and you've cut out all the fluff, you have a lot of things going on in the video that are pattern interrupts and just everything you'd want to do as a good editor to keep people's attention, you may have done all that right. But if people feel like they clicked on your video and they're not getting whatever the title and the thumbnail promised, that's generally what makes them kind of leave. Other than the video could just maybe the intro is really strong and there's a lull in the middle where you kind of stopped doing all the fancy stuff and then they got bored and left. That can happen too. There could be a number of things, but I think the most common thing you'll see is, I've been watching this video for a while now and it's still not giving me what I came here for, and they'll click off. They won't waste any more time. So maybe your editing is not the problem. It's the pitch.
I've just had again look at the channel in the background. They've got 1,000 subscribers. View counts 300, 400, sometimes 1,000. So again, this is a channel that's doing very, very well already in that sense. So well done to you. Sorry if that sounded a little bit critical. But it was just that phrase that triggered me a little bit. Like, I have the perfect editing. I don't think anybody has the perfect editing. As a creator. In terms of the question of not posting as much, I mean, naturally, if you are not supplying audience with new content, then if there are other people creating content on your topic, then YouTube is going to find that content and serve it up to the audience. And because the viewer isn't waiting, the viewer isn't necessarily waiting for you. The viewer is expecting to watch new content on YouTube when they go on YouTube. So again, it's finding that cadence. I don't want to again say that you should just make a video every single day because you'll quickly burn out. But can you find a sweet spot of where the previous video is just starting to lose its momentum? Then it's the next video that you need to publish. And that might be every 3 days. It might be every week. Hell, sometimes if it's search content, then you only need to post a couple of times a month, because every video goes into search results and you're getting tons of views.
There's a lot that can be said for this, and we should have said this to the outdoor channel as well, but consistency is going to be the biggest factor. Like, if you look at Mark Rober, who posts once a month, he doesn't struggle to get views on those videos once a month. And you could argue that if he posted more, he'd get more views if he posted twice a month. But consistency is like key. If he stopped posting for a whole year, that might change things up a little bit.
It's because there is only one Mark Rober. You can't get his content anywhere else, so he can spend as much time as he wants creating the, I guess, perfect video for his audience. That's
even more true. Yes, exactly. So I've been trying to, again, my friends who are kind of starting out on YouTube right now, telling them, like, if you can't do daily, don't do daily. If you can't do once a week, then do what you can do. If you take a prolonged break, Rob's right. There could be, YouTube could go find other people, because the same audience is still there. They want to be fed that kind of content. They'll find somebody who's giving them that content, and then you may struggle to claw them back. But YouTube's algorithm isn't punishing you. It's just math. It's just the way things have shaken out. So then you'll just have to get back into the rhythm of posting videos again. And hopefully YouTube recommends those videos to the audience that have left at one point or another. But yeah, YouTube themselves, like Influential Finance has pointed out, they've said, like, taking a break does not impact your channel. We don't have a, they're basically saying we don't have a system in place that's going to take a break into account and go, you're done. You know, you've posted your last video that gets views. That doesn't exist. There's a lot of facets to that question is the point.
Yep.
Let's see. So many questions. And they're so long. And we don't have a whole ton of time left.
Hang on, what is this? What I saw this, hang on. Dignity exploring human rights in daily life. 85 to 97% retention rate. About 5% click-through rate. Telling stories, editing, I guess using stock footage. So I'm guessing, let's say this is a faceless channel.
Yeah, probably.
In browse, videos 2 minutes. Videos are less than 2 minutes. 416 subs. Suggestions. What is the channel not doing very well? Is the channel doing well?
Yeah, what's the goal? I guess more views, but I don't know if these stats are really helping me figure out what's going on. I appreciate the effort in trying to like explain, like, oh, I'll just give them some stats and you know, that'll help, but I think it's hurting my brain. There's too many numbers.
Right. Okay. So I am astonished if you have 85, 97% retention rate. Just because I've never seen any channel have that retention rate on a regular basis on non-YouTube shorts. It's incredible if that is the case. Click-through rate, 5%. I can understand why that is, because just looking at your thumbnails, again, we're not doing audits. We're not doing audits here, folks, but this has a little bit of thumbnail wallpaper to it. There's a lot of space in each of these thumbnails, like in the top left-hand corner, which could be better used for something. And I think just a date and a person next to that date, I think it's lacking something a little bit. According to the titles, it suggested it's like Humanitarian Day, International Day of Remembrance. All right, cool. Me as a layman, I can't necessarily attach the person to each of these days. So this is one of these ironic times where maybe text is required on the thumbnail, or at least testing it in that sense. What do you reckon, Dan?
Yeah, I think if I were scrolling through, it's the date is not the text I would use here. It'd be something more interesting and along the lines of the holiday that they're trying to talk about. But yeah, this is kind of tough because because the left side of every thumbnail is exactly the same. If this were to appear in my recommended feed, I might for a second I've already seen this video, you know, because they all kind of look the same, even though they're not.
Yeah. I'm just checking. Was this video posted on the? All right, so it's posted on April the 6th. So like a week before maybe the actual day itself.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
I think what may be worth trying as well is testing it as YouTube Shorts. The videos are so short already that how much of a push would it be to turn them into something that's less than 60 seconds and then posting that short literally on the day of the event, like, you know, at midnight, starting of the day. That might be something to experiment with.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So that we are at time. What would you like to do? Should we call it here?
We are at time, and yeah, I think we need to call it because we are very, very busy people, Dan. But awesome questions today. I felt like, you know, even though the live stream was titled like "How to Get 1,000 Subscribers," we weren't just getting questions about how to get 1,000 subscribers. You're really diving deep into like click-through rate and thumbnails and like channel focus. And that's the type of questions we want to see because they really do challenge us. And we hope we've offered you somewhat useful responses. I always feel as if sometimes my instinctive response to a question isn't as good as what it could have been when I've had a few more minutes to consider it. But yeah, that's something that we love to do during our live streams, getting really personal and connect with all of you.
Mm-hmm. Being on the spot can definitely, it can make it tough to answer certain questions. And then, as we're talking, sometimes we're thinking of, oh, wait a minute, but there's also this point we want to make too. So, yes, we do hope you got something out of this, though. Just the fact that you're here shows it should prove to yourself that you're already doing it right. If you're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, you're trying to reach your next goal, just the fact that you showed up to this live stream, just the fact that you're on this channel is already a step in the right direction. So pat yourself on the back for that. And if you want more, we have all kinds of videos on this very subject here on the channel. We go in deep on like a lot of different subjects as it relates to growing your YouTube channel. Also, if you're looking to purchase our tools, our full suite of tools, and you're a free user, you can take advantage of 30% off of 3 months of Boost right now if you go to vidIQ.com/bonus, or if you're at checkout purchasing one of our plans, be sure to use the code BACKTOSCHOOL at checkout, and that will apply your discount.
Look at all of these videos and resources we have on helping you get to 1,000 subscribers, including this live stream now, which is ranking, which is cool. So yeah, do make sure to just search for vidIQ 1,000 subscribers, and I think it's probably an hour's worth of further learning on the topic.
Yep. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We will see you very soon. Tuesday?
Very soon, yeah.
Very soon. When's the next video?
I think the next video is probably going to come out on Monday because I'm still working on some stuff in the background for some very exciting launches that we've got coming up very, very soon. And we're really excited to share that with you. Dan's put me on full screen now, which means I've got to continue waving. Quick question, by the way. I've been twiddling with my camera, and I think now that I'm broadcasting in 60 frames per second. So I should look a lot smoother and nicer. But you will be the judge of that. Dan, let's end our live stream right now.